Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of the EduTuesday, brought to you by the Ignite Search team every Tuesday. And today we're actually broadcasting from Singapore. So I'm currently at Keith Cafe at the Millennia Walk. Last week, if you had been following our weekly wrap, right, you will notice that one of the major updates was the Google Speed update that was rolling out to the slowest websites on the internet. So today, what I wanted to go through with you are the 5 common reasons why your website is slow. Okay, so they're not all the reasons, but these 5 are one of the more common ones. Okay, so number 1, your digital content, right, is not optimized. So when I say digital content, I mean your engagement objects like images and videos, things that take longer to load, right, apart from text. So images are the biggest culprit of all. Every time we go and analyze a website for page speed or recommendations, image optimization is almost going to show up. So make sure that you have the right image, right size image, right format image for your website. Okay, so that's number 1. Now, number 2 is something called leverage browser caching. So every time you visit a website, there is an ability to tell the browser, Google Chrome or whichever, that you would like to store some of those files for use next time. So what you can do is you can actually implement this. It's not difficult. It requires a bit of script or code. So if you have a web developer agency, right, or a web developer in your team, they can do it for you. Put it in, and that would significantly increase the speed of your website. Okay, so number 3, right, reduce the amount of HTTP requests, right, that your page has. So each different code, right, may or may not request information from the server, and every time it requests information from the server, right, to be displayed in the front end, which is what the visitors see, what happens is that takes up speed time, right? Page speed. So you want to actually reduce the amount of requests that are actually happening. You can do this in many ways. You can do something called minify, which actually removes all unnecessary loading. Say for example with images, you can do something called spriting. So spriting means combining images into one image. So say for example on a page you had 5 different images, right? You can actually combine into one image, so it will load request 1 time instead of 5 times. Okay, so there are many different ways, so definitely reduce the amount of HTTP requests to the server. Okay, now the last 2 will refer to the actual server itself. So number 1, the location of the server. Now let's say for example I'm in Singapore, right, but a majority of our clients, customers are actually based in the US. Okay, so if their website was hosted in Singapore, but the majority of the visitors are from the US, right, then invariably they will experience a slower load time on the website. So what they should do is they should actually set up their website on a US server, right, as well. So that's the recommendation. So you want to set up the servers where your customers are at. Obviously, if you have a lot of customers everywhere, then the ideal method is to have servers everywhere. And you can use something called CDNs, or content delivery networks. Okay. Now, number 5 is, okay, fine, great. You have the servers in the right location, but do you have the right server configuration? Meaning, there's 2 things. There is a shared server and there's a dedicated server. Okay, so a shared server, it is what it means. So you are actually sharing server space with other companies, and if for some reason resources start to spike or other companies start to experience a lot of traffic, that could invariably impact on your page speed. So a dedicated server means that you have a server all to yourself, right? And therefore the page speed not only will be better, but you'll also be more consistent as well. So if you have a high traffic website, definitely consider having a dedicated server for your website. Okay, so that rounds up the 5 common reasons why your website may be slow. So hopefully you learned something today. If you have any comments, please drop them below. Otherwise, I will see you next week. Bye.